you've got a chart here, 3-3, that looks just like the one you had last week for discarding your own crib. It's got all the discarding possibilities to your opponent. And then the remaining portion of that is 3-4. It has all the discards on there that are not on the first two pages. If they're on this sheet here, it's because they're too damn good to be thrown to your opponent. You hear me talk about page 1 discards, page 2 discards, and page 3. You don't never want to get to page 3. You want to try to stay in the top 10 on page 1. So I mentioned this King 6, Queen 9 comparison. The lesson that's marked 3-6 gives you those numbers. I did a lot of research on that. You can see the results of it. That's also on the ACC cribbage website. And then 3-7A shows a comparison of the King 10 and the King 9. That was always, I still have a lot of people tell me, oh, I hate that damn 10 King. Every time I throw it, they get 8 or 10 or 12 out of it. Well, of course, our mind plays tricks with us, you know. I don't remember the times it was worth 0 or 2. That's what I was expecting. But when we get hit between the eyes with a 10, 12 or something, you know, and one time I threw it at Canyonville and they got 20. So it's possible. It's not possible, though, to get 20 out of a King 9. How many do you think's the most you can get out of a Queen 9?
15 points.
And with the right jack?
Yeah.
It might be 16. I always thought it was here's what happened to me. I threw a 9 Queen of spades. And they put a 10 Jack of spades and cut to 5 of spades. So they got 6, 4 is 10, 5 spades is 15, and the right jack is 16. Unbelievable. That's the only time I ever saw a 9 King over 12. So I know now, I didn't think it was worth 60. I couldn't think of a way that it could score 16. They turned it over. Wow. 16. 6, 4, 10, 5, 15, and the right jack 16. Anyway, and the strange thing about that is so many of the flushes are an odd number, odd count. So when I first saw it, I thought it was 15. No, 15, 6. Run of 4 is 10. 5 spades is 15. And the jack is 16. Anyway, don't be scared of the 9 Queen for that reason, but it could be worth that much. Anyway, you might want to take a closer look at the 10 King and the 9 King. I mentioned that it shows there real clearly. If you're looking at 0, I mentioned that the 10 King gets 0 almost twice as much as does the 9 King, and you see it there, 16.1% 0 for 10 King. 8.7% 0 for the 9 King. But then when you look out on the other end, then you can see it moves the other direction. 12 to 15. Oh yes, you've got to take a look at this 3-8. I mentioned this 8-8 comparison. 3-8. This is an 8-8 to your own crib, 8-8 to your opponent's crib. This is also on the American Cribbage Congress website. You can see that the 8-8 to your own crib averages 5.49. To your opponent's crib, it averages 8.03. Look how many times it's worth 2 points on your side of the board. Almost twice as often as it is to the opponent. And then if you start looking at the other end of it, You see how many times you get 20 or more with a pair of 8s to your crib? 0.5%. Your opponent gets eight times that, a little more. 8 times as many. And notice the 12 to 16, huge difference. 10.9 on your side of the board, 23.1. So same 2 cards. I mentioned this one specifically because I see so many people lose a game because they've tossed the 8-8 to their crib all night and they've been taking 2 points for the sucker. And so, no, it ain't worth nothing. Cool. It's worth a whole bunch on the other side of the board. And very seldom will it be worth 2 points on the other side of the board, but it will be worth 2 on your side a lot of the time. Now, 3-9, it just gives a kind of a little chart there. But you can, this here, right here, I have done this. You can make this credit card size and laminate it. Now, you can't pull it out in your game. But when you go to the bathroom or something, you can, yeah. Actually, it will. It will produce legibly on that size. Put your discards on one side of the card and the opponent's on the other, and you got it all pocket size. Now, if you take a look at 311, gives a lot of hands examples there. The first one I think is pretty straightforward. The 7 king is better than the 7 jack. I mean, you got a kind of a lousy hand, but that happens, you know. You got a 3-3-4 and a 7 king jack. Now, there might be a few places on the board where you would throw the jack king. Where might they be?
When you're in fourth street.
Yeah, you could be